Once again, welcome to everybody. It's really nice to see you this evening and to share this, what I know will be a wonderful session with Hilary McMichael, exploring transformative mindfulness methods. Hilary is a good friend of mine, and I'm just going to introduce her as a friend because that's how I know her best. She's been part of Universal Education France since the start, where we both met. And since then, she's been studying and practicing and developing the practice of transformative mindfulness with Decky Lee, who's the creator, founder, inventor of the program, and also here in France with groups of people of different ages. She's also been qualified to teach NBSR, and she's got, you'll soon meet her yourselves to discover her wonderful curiosity and kindness and joy of living. Welcome, Hilary. Take it away.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mabel, and thanks also to the FDCW team for having the energy to organize these sort of festivals, and thanks to the translators also. So it's really, big welcome to everybody. I'm really pleased that this is the second time that I've been on this festival, so it's slightly less stressful for me than the first time, but all the same, it's quite a big feat, I find. I'm going to talk about my experience with transformative mindfulness methods, and there'll be quite a long guided practice. And so you'll want to have 2 sheets of paper and colored pencils for starting. So maybe if you can go and grab them like that, and even open up your packet of pencils so that you're ready to go when the the documenting starts. But I'll tell you more about that when we get closer to the practice. I'm very happy to have Decky Lee Oldershaw here. She's in the audience, and she's the creator of these methods, as Mabel said. And she'll also be part of the question and answer at the end, bringing her enormous wisdom and knowledge of these methods. What else? Well, really, I'll start by saying that I work mainly with women, not exclusively, and it's to help them choose to see life from a different perspective, more from the heart, with more confidence in oneself and inner strength. It's also how to get free from old stuck patterns. I'd like to start with taking a breath together. So taking a breath together is something that I need, and I find that it's really helpful for everybody. So even stretching a little bit, because I've been online a lot today. So stretching a little bit, I'm going to stretch my neck, and I invite you to do the same so that you make yourself comfortable. Maybe wiggling around in the chair, and then slowly stopping these movements, settling down, and feeling the body in the chair, feeling the gravity, how we're held. Start relaxing the body, relaxing the belly, making the jaw soft, the shoulders low. And gradually becoming aware of the breathing. You're feeling the body breathe itself. Nothing else to do or to be. And with the next breath, having gratitude for ourselves. Gratitude for taking this time to do things that are important. And also bringing in the energy for just being open, playful, and curious. And also, I'd like you now to just come gently out of this pause, inner pause, and maybe put yourself on gallery view for a little while, just to make contact with the people who are in this room with us. So maybe looking at the ones who have their camera on, you can look at them in the eyes, say hello to each other. The ones who simply have their name up, they're also part of the group. So inviting them in too with your heart. Okay, and then putting back to having a big image and not be too distracted by all the other people on the online. Transformative Mindfulness Methods is an international course. It's been created over 35 years ago by Dekili Oldershaw. And it's based on embodied mindfulness and compassion. This is an investigation on healing and how healing is made possible by allowing ourselves to feel and to know what's disturbing us, to feel our fears, our resistance, our sadness, our anger, to feel our worrisome hearts at all these deep levels. And you come out of the discursive mind, out of the stories that we tell ourselves about life, to come to a deeper meaning. And you can get to the root causes with these methods. And there's one practice that we're going to do today, which is maybe more quickly empowering because it takes its base on our qualities. But all of these methods, there are 5 of them, they're for gaining confidence in our inner strength. The practice today will be later on, but we're going to warm up a little bit. And it's going to be about how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. So this warm-up practice, which is not transformative mindfulness, you just let yourself settle down, listen, and anything that comes up, feelings, words, intuitions, you just listen to them. Just accept what's coming up by itself in a way. The first part of this warming up is to imagine in front of you a friend, a dear friend, who's got a problem. So maybe you'd like to lower your gaze and bring up in your imagination this friend who has a problem, who's sad, who's worried. And you want to be there for her or him. You want to be able to listen, to be really present to their suffering. So imagine as they're talking, how you are responding. Like, what words would you be saying? What sort of tone of voice are you using when you're talking to them? What sort of attitude do you have? Now just complete this sentence in your mind, in silence. Right. How are you when you're with a friend in need? When I'm with a friend in need, I am, and you complete the sentence. When I'm with a friend in need, I am, and just let the answer come up. When I'm with a friend in need, I am. Just take a deep breath now. So did the repeated inquiry bring deeper responses? And I invite you to write maybe 1 or 2 words in the chat to say how you are with a friend in need. So I can see fully present, caring, listening, open and listening, protective, all embracing of them, open, caring, listening, in the present, open, calm, attentive listening. All right, now settle back again, take a deep breath. And just look how you feel inside, having connected to this kindness. And if it feels good, rejoice, enjoy. You're already getting to know the language of the body. You've brought up some emotion, it has an impact on your body. How are you feeling? Now, the second reflection. How do you talk to yourself when you're sick? How do you talk to yourself when you are sick? Or if you have a sore back or a big headache, or when something happened that you just couldn't control, you were out of control. How do you talk to yourself? What words do you say? You can be, quite honest. What tone of voice do you use? What's your general attitude towards yourself? How do you treat your body? And there's no judgment involved here, but do you talk to yourself in the same way as you talk to your friend in need? Now again, complete this sentence. How do you treat yourself when you're sick? The way I treat myself is. The way I treat myself is. And take a deep breath, relax. And maybe you'd like to put a couple of words in the chat again. So I see kindly. I also see resisting, hard words. Sometimes I'm down on myself. I have self-pity. And sometimes I'm kind and loving. And then someone says, oh no, here we go again. Another person, needy, grasping, harsh. Other people, attention, calm, patience. Okay. Deep breath, settle back again. One other person adds impatient. The last reflection. What is preventing you from being kind to yourself? What is preventing you from being kind to yourself? So what's preventing me from being kind to myself is, and you let the answer come up by itself. What's preventing me from being kind to myself is, with the next breath, come out of this reflection. And if you feel like writing a few things again in the chat, it gives us sort of the overall temperature of what's happening in the group. If you're finding, if you notice that you have difficulty being kind to yourself, why would that be? There's some habits, fear, not accepting. Someone says, I don't know. Attachment to some version of me that I'm not in that moment, non-acceptance. Some people would say also it might seem weak to be kind to oneself, or it could look silly, or maybe not be so helpful. It's better to be harsh. There's a habitual tendency to not be kind. Okay, so thanks for all that feedback. Feeling of urgency to act. So this feedback is really telling us that it's much easier to be kinder to a friend than to oneself. And the practice of transformative mindfulness that we'll be doing in a few minutes will help us maybe bring more balance to that. I invite you to take a big breath. It'll sort of be like punctuation marks, these breaths, bringing us back to where we are right now and helping us also make transitions. So when I first met Dekile Aldershaw, it was when she came to France to teach to the Institut Vajrayogini many years ago. I don't think I really knew what I was feeling. I don't think I knew how to express, well, I definitely didn't know how to express myself. I was more timid, probably neurotic like most of us, thinking I was wrong, I'm not lovable, something's wrong with me compared to other people. By using transformative mindfulness methods since several years, I've become somebody who's much happier, playful. I say even that I've grown taller because I'm not afraid of myself anymore. So I can just walk around, wow, feeling okay, you know, life's good. Why is it good? Because I know I'm not alone in a way. I feel like some sort of superhero. I've got this recipe, method, and so I can help myself. So myself helps myself. And I can trust in it, and I can trust in myself, and I can trust in my inner wisdom and my natural kindness that's there. I can access it now. And when I teach participants online or in person, the words that keep coming up are feeling lighter, feeling unburdened. I deserve to take care of myself. The words connection, confidence, intuition. People find that they have courage to look at their pain. They also say, oh, there's so much love inside myself, or love is even my foundation. And this inner work that these methods give us, they can really be easy and fun and graceful. And the power of the transformation is such that you can bring what happens in the session out into your life. You can put it into action. So it's compassion in action. And there's always the question of how do you do that? And what are the first steps to make it become real and part of your life? So it's, I suppose that neuroscience would say that we're being rewired. We're not just weakening something, we're actually rewiring it. And so the neuroscience explains more and more these methods which haven't changed since they were created, but they explain how these neural pathways come into place, how you can change your behavior when you're in a certain mental position. Now, I'll just give you an example. It's okay, it's the same example that I use over and over again, but it's so vivid for me. This woman came into my class for the first time on crutches, and she said, no doctor can find out what's wrong with my foot. So we sat down and did the very first part of transforming problems, which is the mindfulness part, bringing up images and metaphors. And she was sitting there quietly, and she felt that her foot was like on fire. And the information that she got was, oh, this is preventing me of going to go towards my daughter. So she went home at night, and she came back for the second session the next day without crutches. And she said to me, oh, you know, I phoned up my daughter, we're communicating again. And obviously the physiotherapist has been doing a good job on my foot after all. No, it's what you did, but this inner looking, that's what did it. Okay, I didn't tell her that. It's for her to work out. But why didn't she see that this investigation was what helped her? It's that we just don't make the link between our body and our mind. And yet it's, I mean, it would nearly, I think all osteopathists now, if you go with a sore back, they're not going to say, what movement did you do? They're going to say, what's wrong in your life? What's happening in your life? Now, what are you carrying? So these are all expressions of the link between our body and our mind. We often try and drown what's uncomfortable for us. So we drown it in chocolate, drown it in drink, drown it in internet, excessive sports. We don't often just sit down and be with what's uncomfortable. And as well as that, often if it's a physical discomfort, then we actually nourish it with our thoughts. And then it grows. And then the sensations get worse. And then the thoughts grow on that, and it just becomes a big cycle, rumination. Now, given the opportunity to sit in a safe space and turn inwards, and to have be guided in a way that's it's soft, it's gentle, it's curious. So we actually use what we don't like to transform, to become our better self, let's say. And they're big changes, mental changes, physical changes. And Lama Yeshe, who put so much of his heart into universal education, he said, you become your own therapist. It's possible. You can change your mind. You can become your own healer. Right, another big breath, in breath, out breath, feeling the breath going out. There are 5 main practices in transformative mindfulness methods. I'm going to guide you through one. I'll just tell you the steps in general. What we do is we stop, first of all, very important to stop. Stop our agenda, stop. And we look and we feel. We feel what's happening in the body, what's happening in the mind. That's the mindfulness step. We allow it to be just as it is, with kindness. It's the loving kindness step. Now we listen to its wisdom, what it has to say to us. The equanimity step. We ask for help, and then we just become receptive. The compassion step. It transforms by itself. So you take this embodied experience, and you have a dialogue with the body, using visualization, your imagination, your inner listening, and then you're invited to put it into images or metaphors or words. And so you can optionally draw it or document it. And the fact that you put it on paper, you put it outside of you. There's much less identification that happens with the challenge. And all the, let's say, information that comes up, we could really say that it comes up from our wiser self. And one girl left, put it in her evaluation at the end of the course. She said, "Oh, I came alone, and 2 of us are leaving, me and my wiser self." So it's, but you're no longer alone in a way. That's what I did a smile. So anyway, there are some differences with basic mindfulness and transformative mindfulness methods. So you have this investigation, this dialogue, and there's a crucial step, which is asking for help. Quite a few people get stuck on this step because they're not used to asking for help. They resist. They sometimes don't think they're worthy of it, or they just don't know how to. It's an interesting step. And you can, because you'll be doing it, I prefer to explain it a little bit in advance. You ask for help, and it can come from an outer source, but it's always going to be full of love and compassion, something that's there to really to help you. So it can be nature, the universe, a spiritual guide, a person who's close to your heart. Or you can go into your inner wisdom and get help from that part of you that knows what's good for you, what you need. And I can just remember not so very long ago this year, I couldn't sleep very well. And so I started doing transforming problems to try and slow down all my thoughts. And I asked for help, and it was Tarzan who came on a little branch. And he started stomping on all my thoughts. And so you never know where your help can come from. Don't guide it, let it come. In any case, it's something that's greater than you. You just allow, you can't do it all. So let go. That's the help step. And the step afterwards is this abandoning to life, opening to life, not controlling anymore. So Deki Lee says that you cannot heal the problem with the same mind that created it. So this is why we're going into this other part of the mind. Big breath in, big breath out. We're getting closer to the practice period. We're going to work on our wellness, on what's okay, because I've been talking a lot about problems and anger and challenges and transforming things that are uncomfortable for us. One of the practices is called enhancing positive qualities. So we're going to build on our inner strength. So there's, you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to be super strong. You just start where you are and open yourself up, as usual, to what comes. You can get ready your pieces of paper, and you can open up your pencil box. So you're all ready to go. Now this is a joyful exercise, so keep it that way. It'll bring you more confidence, more agency. Yeah, and at any point in the exercise, if you don't want to go any further with it, you can just sit back and focus on your breath, just listen and not take part of it. But the invitation is to give it a go. So we can start by settling down again, lowering the gaze, or closing your eyes if you're comfortable with having your eyes closed. Feeling the breath. Using the first breath to let go of all the conversation that we have just had. The second breath to settle here and now. And the third breath to just open up, connect. And be curious. I'm going to invite you to connect again to all the kindness in your heart that you brought up when you were thinking of how you help a friend who's in need. Maybe you can come back to that very situation again, that very same friend. think of just one moment, one precise occasion where you were with someone and you were very kind to this person, very caring. You think of this precise moment when you had a lot of love and care in your heart. And see what you were saying or doing. How your tone of voice was encouraging and gentle. How you really felt you wanted to help. And feel into what quality you have in you now. How is this expressing itself? What good feeling is there? And enjoy it. Sort of envelop yourself in this good feeling. Whatever it is, it might even just be some sort of warm feeling in the body. And you can go into your body now and look where there is this feeling. What part of the body is feeling tender, warm, open? So if there are several areas, just ask your intuition which one needs to be worked on today. Where is this positive feeling? Where is it embodied in you? If it's a bit difficult to find where it's embodied in you, you can always go to your heart area, the symbolic heart area. And what we're going to do is allow it to express itself. It's got its own mind. You're going to start a dialogue with this area of the body. If you like, you can put your hand on it, bringing warmth to this part of the body. And you're just going to invite it to really have a dialogue with you and show itself to you. Maybe even show itself as an image or colors or forms. So, where is it exactly? What area does it cover? Like, how big is it? Has it got a color? Or maybe what color it could have if it had a color. Does it look like something? Does it have a form? Does it have a shape? Or what could it look like? What quality is there now? If it has an age, how old would it be? Like, has it been there for not very long, so it would be young? Or is it something that you recognize? So it's old. And if it's old, it might even be ancient, from long, long ago. So how old is it? So you might not get answers to everything. That's okay. How has this quality benefited you in the past? How has this quality benefited you in the past? How is it benefiting you? How is it benefiting you now? How does it benefit others? Does it have anything to say? Especially if it's been there a long time. Has it got anything to say? Anything that you should hear today? Just staying a little bit longer with this, becoming familiar with it. And then gently opening up your eyes, and you have the possibility of making a document, of writing down any information that you got. It can be written information, or maybe it'll be a little drawing or sketch. Don't worry about artistic talents, skills. That's not necessary. This is only for you. Just take a couple of minutes to document what your experience was. Any words that are important, and maybe what this emotion is or quality is. Okay, another few seconds to finish off. It doesn't have to be very precise. I'm just looking around to see if any if you're looking up, or if you're still got your heads down working. Looks okay. Okay then. Now, what I think you should do is to turn that page over and take a brand new page. You don't work on the back of the page. Take a new piece of paper. And you can settle down again. Close your eyes. And reconnect to this area, or to this image, or to this feeling, or to the words. Reconnect for a little while. Bring it back, heat it up again. So you can really feel this in your body. Now, is it willing just now to change in a way and become more beneficial? Is it willing just now to change, to transform, to become more beneficial? So if you feel, yeah, we'll go on with the exercise. If there are some people who think, no, I don't want to go any further, that's okay. You just listen on to the rest. It doesn't need much willingness to be able to take the next step. Anyway, if it's willing, you're going to ask for help. This is the asking for help step. So ask for help to let it change in a way that's of the most benefit to both you and it. So asking for help, you can go outside to a spiritual guide. You can go to nature, to the universe, to some source of love and compassion that will accompany you in the next step. To ask for help, or maybe asking for help in this inner part, your inner wisdom, your higher self. You breathe, you open, you ask for help, and you let this help come as it wants to, in the form that it takes on today. You could just get out of the way for it to come. Asking for help and staying aware of sensations, staying aware of words, of feelings, of images. A bit like you would watch a video. Just let everything happen. Just allow it to change if it wants to. Maybe taking another big breath, asking for help again. You've got nothing to do except allow it, if it wants to change, to become something that's more beneficial. Maybe you even feel differently now. Stay aware of what's happening in the body. And you just let it happen as best you can. And if nothing happens, that's okay. after a while, this quality, this feeling, can you imagine that it gives itself to you, that you can receive this quality for yourself? That this quality is now big enough for you too, that you are part of this circle of compassion. This caring attitude is also for you. You can also ask for help to receive it. Help to receive this caring attitude. And with the next breath, you can imagine now giving it to other people. You give it to the people that you love. You give it to the people that you work with. You can spread it over to the people who just live in the same place as you do. Right along to the people that you don't know that you just don't know. You can give this quality even to the people that you don't really like that much, you prefer to avoid. And just imagine that each person is transformed by this quality. And how exactly do you express it? What's natural for you? Is it some way of being? Some way of doing? How does it affect all these people? And once it's gone out as far as it can, then you allow it now to condense into some sort of maybe light, and that's going to come back into this part of the body, come back as a condensed light into this area of your body or into your heart, and you can keep it there. Like a jewel that you can contact when you need it again. You can even communicate from this area, from this part of you. Now gently, again, opening your eyes and making a document of what you experienced. So whatever your experience was, if you want to just put it down on paper, if there was an image or colors, words, or something to describe the feeling that you have. So again, it's just a short period of time to write down the essential points, or to just jot down a little sketch or a few colors. So just look around to see where you're at. Okay. Right, so the next step, you're going to put the two documents in front of you and just have a look what happened, what changed or not. And then you're going to just reflect on the second document. Just look at it, how you feel about it. Looking at this second document and still really always you have this contact, what's going on inside of you, your awareness of how you're feeling. What you now know about this quality. What you now know about yourself. What you know about this quality for yourself. And this quality for others. Now with the next breath, I'm going to ask you to finish this sentence. Based on this experience, what I now know is. Based on this experience, what I now know is. You let the sentence end itself. You don't have to think about it. And it's probably something that you should write down, because these sentences of wisdom, they disappear pretty quickly. So just take another moment to write down, what I now know is. And I'm going to ask you to take another moment to write something in the chat. You just have to write the end of the sentence. You don't have to write what I now know is. You just write the second part. What you filled in. You feel like sharing? And while you're writing in that, we're going to prepare breakout groups for 3 people at a time. Breakout groups of 3 people. And if anyone doesn't want to go in a breakout group, please stay in the big group, because there's some sort of finishing touches of this practice that I'd like to talk about. So don't disappear if you don't want to go into the breakout groups. So I can read. I have confidence in myself. More joy. There is fearlessness. Trust that it's there and let go of the me in inverted commas. Anyone else wants to write in? I have the capacity to help others at my level. Now these words of wisdom, you know, they're feeding all of us. We're being enriched by this. It's adding on to what we have also felt. There's confidence, says Martha. Right. So in your breakout groups, you're going to have 10 minutes, which is not a lot. Maximum 10 minutes, probably 9 minutes. And you can just talk about your own experience. Talk from the heart, what you felt. Listen the other people who listen. You can go by alphabetical order like that. You'll get who goes first pretty quickly. And only say what you feel like saying. Only share what you feel like sharing. Maybe you can also think about what may be the next step, what you're going to do with this, how you're going to bring it into your life. And that too you can share in your little group. I'll just read out a bit more. Rebecca says, where to find a source of care and love for myself, and it does expand by itself. And Martha, she's off. Bye, Martha. Thanks so much for being online with us. Okay, Michaela, are you ready to put people into groups?
I am.
Everyone's back? Okay, so before we have a question and answer, what you do with your images, you don't keep the first one. You don't need it anymore. And you keep the second one and you put it somewhere where you can see it, and it'll continue to integrate and grow, and you'll be reminded of it. So even you can find, let's say, a little object or something, or the color, the main color, you can put a colored scarf on. So you are keep on reminding yourself, and this work will grow and become stronger, and you'll become more confident in it. Also, if you can find how you're going to bring it into your life, and what might be your first step that you can do today, tomorrow, and to make it really real. It can be any really a short step as well. Now, another thing is, and that's asking a favor, when this goes out on Facebook, if you've enjoyed it, you can make a little comment so that then people know that this is something that can help them. Now, it's really can be a helpful practice for other people. So when they get to know about it because other people have said nice things, you know, you're spreading. This is the ripple effect that we talk about so often. Now we have a chance for questions. So maybe to get the questions rolling, you can just ask yourself, if I had a question to ask, what would that be? Or if there's something I didn't quite get, what's that? So you can either ask questions or share your experience over, let's say, a minute, 2 minutes per person. So also we can know what's happened for you. The best thing I think is either to raise your little electronic hand or else just wave madly and we'll we'll try and call on you. So Rebecca, I can see you getting ready. No? Open up your mic.
Hi, Hilary. Well, I don't want to go into the details of the first and the second, but on the first image, I already had a very nice image, and the image also transformed in a different quality. The color white, and it became bigger and a different shape, and it was very interesting because after this first part of the work, before going to the second one, I opened my eyes and I felt myself literally, physically very small. I don't know. There was a very surprising thing. It never happened to me. And also I've done these works already. And then the second part, this, this care for others, it did expand very easily. I don't know. The weird thing for me was to see myself so small. I'm not a big woman, but I literally had the feeling that physically with my open eyes, being very, very small. As usual, it was a very interesting work for me. It's always such a nice path with you, Hilary. I don't want to take more time. I hope to hear other people.
At any point, Becky, if you want to comment or add.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, anybody have any questions? Anything that you might like so that you feel comfortable to maybe play with this later?
Yeah, I see one that's in the chat. Maybe Lucienne, you would like to actually ask it out loud?
Yes, the first image was already very supportive and warm, and it made me feel very comfortable. So it was really helpful, and then it did grow after the asking for help question. So, but you explicitly mentioned to not keep the first image, but I like to keep the first image. So maybe it's a strange question, but can I keep it if it was helpful, or is there a specific reason to let go of it?
I'll give it over to Becky. Yeah, please do, Becky.
The wonderful thing here is we're starting with one of your most fantastic qualities. So of course we're grasping on that because it feels so good.
Okay.
But what we've done is a transformation to let it even be enhanced more.
Wow.
And that may not feel as comfortable because it's new. But the only way to integrate it and start to live it is to keep reminding yourself of it. So continuing to remind ourselves of our wonderfulness is one thing. To keep reminding ourselves of our expanded wonderfulness, that's another whole thing. So it can be uncomfortable, but make it your screensaver.
I will draw it. I will paint. I will do something. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess it was something like this, but thank you, Becky Lee, and thank you, Hilary. Thank you.
If you can let it integrate and know how it. So we got two more. We got Mabel, and then we've got Fernando.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about when we speak to this quality and ask it whether it is okay to transform. I got kind of stuck on that. Could you talk about that stage a little bit more?
Yeah, I think we need to remind ourselves that some of us are kinesthetic, some of us are auditory, and some of us are visual. Some of us are not going to hear anything. We're going to get images, or we're going to feel it in our gut. You know, so it's just honoring, okay, there's nothing there, but there's something here. Hilary's simply asking all these questions so that everybody gets a chance to tap into something. But I know I'm very visual kinesthetic, so the auditory doesn't come necessarily. So I think it's just trusting yourself. Is that okay? Fernando? Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. The button, and you're off mute. You're in the Spanish channel or something?
No, he said
You
that
have
he
to
did,
go into the English channel on
no,
translation.
hold on. He
But
said
just 1 second.
he said that he didn't have a question. He was just gesturing. He didn't have a question. Okay, so apologies. So,
Petri has a question. Do you want to come online, Petri?
We got Petri, then we've got Bhavna.
Well, the question is how you can bring it more into my life. You know, I was very surprised to what it brought. You know, the images, but also that it spoke, which was a bit new, and it was quite moving. You know, so I thought, well, maybe I have to repeat that, or I wasn't sure if there was any more, because I often get stuck in how to bring it into my life.
Yeah, Petri, in some ways, what you can do is you can dialogue with it and say, okay, how would you like me to turn this into action? What I do is I just live with it for 2 weeks, because I know on a subconscious level it's starting to move in. So I'm making room in my house. You know, I'm making some room for it to integrate for a couple of weeks by keeping that image nearby and just reminding myself of it, and reminding myself, because this is a part of you already. So I would say keep revisiting it, give it some space, and next time you're looking in the mirror, just ask, okay, is this looking for any action? It may not be. Mine kind of swung from being really needing to act and feeling very impotent about it, to just simply, it's a way to look at people in their wholeness instead of their parts. You know, so be kind and patient and gentle, and watch where your eyes go. It'll come through your eyes.
Yeah, and I think maybe also the what it said, that will change it a lot. You know, I can feel that allowed a big change somehow. Yeah. Even the direction, or the, you know, being part of it, you know. So yeah, so that's, thank you.
You're welcome. I think we have Bhavna. I may have said it wrong, sorry.
No, that's the right way to call me. And Hilary, this was amazing, because, you know, I have not done something like this ever before. And this is the first time I have, I stumbled upon this just by chance, and I'm here. So this is all very new, and I don't know whether it was the correct way, because I didn't hear anything. There was no colors, nothing, just a slight warm kind of feeling of something in the pit of my stomach. Now, I don't know how to interpret that, number one. Number two, and how do I tap into it? Because there was no vision. Am I doing it wrong? I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to be visualizing, or should it come naturally? Because I was just blank completely. But there was something warm, of course, about the entire thing, but I don't know.
I'll let Dikili answer also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've done this, which is fantastic. The thing to do is simply honor what part of you is giving you information. And that warmth is showing us that, okay, your kinesthetic, you know, your body, the way your body feels things is communicating. You know, we all have that when we're in pain. But when we're feeling good, we don't usually pay attention to it. We just feel good. So starting with that, just honoring that, and just know that you can, I have to honestly say that the time that I do these exercises is sitting on the toilet because I have nowhere else to go. So that's when I enhance everything. So just go back to it, just revisit it, and just honor it. And it's a way to love yourself. We just tend to pass this stuff by. And because this is recorded, you can always come back to it and do it again with Hilary and let it keep going. I have a theory that if we took the best quality we have and only focused on enhancing it and enhancing it and enhancing it and enhancing it, every other quality would come into it. That could take us most of the way. So, and also by, say somebody has cancer or something, by focusing on the positive, on the health, that's how osteopathy works. They enhance the health and let the health move into that area. And that's what creates the transformation. So, I've got this little theory that you could simply do this one exercise for a long, long time on the same quality, and you'd end up embracing it all.
Yeah, thank you. At least it's a beginning, and there is a place to start with. So yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's something that's worthwhile adding, is that you can do this exercise every single day.
And another little thing I'll add is, Hilary asked me for help once because she was working with young women who had been badly abused. So to start with going into to transform the problem, they don't feel even good enough about themselves to do that. So the whole thing was go in and enhance something positive, strengthen first. And then maybe they're ready to go visit something that didn't work very well, that was maybe even traumatic. But something I have found is that people can start to work with trauma by, it's almost like creating something to hold it all first. That's so loving, and it's all you. It's not someone else doing it. It's like you're holding yourself in such a loving space that it starts to become safe enough. And you start to trust that these methods are safe, and in fact, they are. They're very good at working with trauma. Just because there's a self-compassion component that's built in naturally. Thanks for your question.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for being here, being online. It's the end of the session. We'll just take an extra minute to dedicate. That's really opening our hearts in a very generous manner and giving all this beautiful energy that we've enhanced and let grow inside ourselves. Just imagining if we could give it to the people who needed it, people who needed just this very quality that we were enhancing, if you could offer it to the person who's asking for it, who needs it. And just how wonderful that would be if they could receive it and benefit from it. So thank you, everybody. And thanks to the FDCW. And if you're called to making a donation, that allows us to continue giving festivals and conferences and developing programs.
Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for Deki Lee for being here.
Have fun sharing stuff.
Thank you so much, Hilary. Thank you, Becky Lee. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
TCW and the
Thank you.
translator.
Lovely to see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Bernal Paloma.
Gracias.
Thank you, Fernando.
Merci.